This video takes you through the procedure for when a service user has deceased. The first step you need to take is to establish if there is a next of kin or executor. You will need to notify the Department for Work and Pensions of the death. The Notification of Death checklist will help you prepare for the call and can be found on the Document Centre. You also need to cancel any prepayment cards, standing orders and direct debits by using the appropriate form for finance and contacting payees directly. Next, you need to obtain a copy of the death certificate, which you should forward to all utility providers along with the final meter readings if applicable. When it comes to funeral arrangements, we first need to check if there is a prepaid funeral plan in place. If so, then no input from ourselves is required. If there is no funeral plan, then this should be left for the next of kin or executor to arrange and pay for. If there is no next of kin or executor and no funeral plan, then the funeral should still be arranged without involvement from Pendrell's Trust. However, you will need to check if there is a private bank account with enough funds on to pay for the funeral. If so, then the bank will pay for the funeral upon receiving the bill and death certificate. If none of the above apply, then a quote for the cost of the funeral should be supplied to us so we can confirm if we hold enough funds to pay. We need written permission from the next of kin or executor or authorisation from a service manager before we can pay for a funeral. Any outstanding bills should be forwarded to the next of kin or executor. If there is no next of kin or executor, then a referral should be made to Hoopers or Bonaventura to trace the next of kin. In some exceptional circumstances, the service manager can approve payments. This will generally be the case if the balance we hold can be cleared by making the payments, if the payment made would make the balance under £5,000, if we have written consent from the next of kin or executor, or if the balance is below the Bonaventura referral limit of £500. The service manager must check the priority of debts before any payments are made. It's important to remember our fees are also an outstanding bill. In order to transfer the estate, you must first check if the service user made a will. This will determine whether it is the named executor or the next of kin that will manage the estate. If the balance we hold is over £5,000, the next of kin will need to apply for a letter of administration and the executor will need to apply for a grant of probate. In order for them to make the application, we will need to provide them with a position statement. If the balance we hold is under £5,000, letters of administration and grants of probate are not required. Instead, the next of kin can sign an indemnity. Before we transfer any funds, we will need to see ID, proof of bank details and any supporting documents. We can then transfer the money using the account closure form, which should be sent to the Appointeeship's email address. Thank you for watching this video on the end of life procedure. After closing the account, the case can be seized on the CRM. To continue learning about Appointeeships, watch the next video in this series on monitoring.